Namaste, viewers. Welcome to Degula channel. In this episode, we will go through the story of Yayati. It's a very interesting and then beautiful story. We'll go through this story. Before that, I request you to please like, share, and then subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Once upon a time, in this country, in this ancient land of India, Bharata, there was a very king, powerful king by name Yayati. He ruled the country with lot of wisdom, lot of strength, and his subjects were all very happy, prosperous. The country was prosperous and then very good there. This Yayati was a descendant of the Kuru dynasty, which was a very great dynasty at that time. It was a very illustrious, they had all illustrious ancestors of Pandavas, all those. It was a very great dynasty. Now, when we come to his life was marked by lot of some kind of dramatic events. He had encounters with divine things, divine objects, and he had some dilemmas also of moral dilemmas, whether to do it or not, or those kinds of dilemmas. And all this, made him an important figure in the history of ancient India. Let us go through one such incident, it's an important event. One day, as usual, they go for hunting. So Yayati also he went for hunting and he was traveling through a dense forest. So people who would live in the adjacent to the forest, they would be troubled by these animals. So therefore, the kings would go and then hunt those animals so that they would be protected. So that way he was going, and then he was going through a dense forest. And while moving, he heard cries from a young woman. It was a female voice, it was crying for some help, some kind of help, as if it was totally distressed, and then it was coming from some kind of a depth, some kind of a bottom of a well, something like that. Now he finds out that one beautiful lady she has been dropped in the well. She is in the well. She is trapped at the bottom of the well. Of course, with great compassion, with great love, Yayati rescued her. He removes her. He helps her to come out of this well. And later she revealed herself. She tells her name as Devayani. She is the daughter of Sukracharya. Sukracharya is the teacher for Asuras, that is demons. The Rakshasa Rishi. Sukracharya was the head, was the priest for all these Rakshasas. She says, I am the daughter of Sukracharya, and I have been pushed into well by Sarmishtha. Sarmishtha was the daughter of Vrishaparva. He was a demon king. He was a king for demons, She has been pushed by Sarmishtha because they both had some kind of an argument over some matter. And then over this heated argument, she comes and then pushes this Devayani into the well. Sarmishtha pushes her and then goes away. Now, after she was rescued, she was grateful for Yayati for having, because he had rescued her. And incidentally, she falls in love with Yayati. She was a young, beautiful girl, and she falls in love with Yayati. And she requests him to marry her. Yayati also, those days, kings used to marry any number of ladies, any number of wives. So he is moved by her beauty, grace, then intelligence, all those kinds of things, some kind of chemistry, and he agreed to the marriage. He married her, but Devayani puts a condition, and the condition is that he should promise that he would not marry Sarmishtha as his wife. It's only the condition, a small condition only. You should not marry, because we both have fought each other, and then you should not marry Sarmishtha, because she still harbored some kind of resentment towards her. So he marries and then comes back. But as time passed, the fate had other kinds of plans. Sarmishtha, who had been sent by her father to serve Devayani as a maid, eventually also fell in love with Yayati. Circumstances come, and then she also loves Yayati, and then she expresses that, Sarmishtha expresses that, you please marry me. Now Yayati, despite his promise to Devayani, he has promised to Devayani, but he is moved by this Sarmishtha, moved by her beauty, moved by her somehow, he also falls in love with Sarmishtha, and he marries Sarmishtha in secret. Secretly he marries her, because he is drawn to her charm and intelligence. Now, as usual, from these unions, Yayati had several sons. One of them was Yadu, another one Kuru. They both, these two become the progenitors of the great Kuru dynasty, Kuru Vamsha, Yadu Vamsha, progenitors of great dynasties. Even to this day, we have Yadu Vamsha. The Mysore kings, they are Yadu Vamsha. They are from the that dynasty. Now, this secret marriage, it did not remain a secret. After all, you have 2-3 sons, and then you are been living together and all those things. Now, Devayani comes to know of this secret marriage, and she discovered that Yayati's relationship with Sarmishtha. She was very furious, because he had promised, he did not keep up his promise. He had promised that he would not marry Sarmishtha, but he has promised, much against his promise, he has married Sarmishtha. She was very furious and went to her father, Sukracharya. Sukracharya was her father. He was a very great sage, and then he was a very influential person. He was the guru of Rakshasas, and he had very influential and had a good standing in the society. She goes to him, and then she complains. She complains to her daddy that, see, he has betrayed me. Yayati, he had made promise that he would not marry, but he has betrayed me. Now, naturally, father of Devayani, Sukracharya, he was also agitated, he was also furious, he wanted to punish Yayati, and then, enraged by Yayati's betrayal, Sukracharya cursed him. The curse was that he becomes prematurely old and lose all his youthful vigor. The curse was that this young Yayati would become old immediately. He is old, he is unable to, not firm like this. He became old. This curse immediately, became truth. This curse was very much devastating for Yayati because he was still young. He was still in his prime of his youth and had many duties as a king also. So he was also shattered by this. Now, Yayati was desperate to regain his youth. He wanted to be youthful. He went to Sukracharya. Eventually, he requested Sukracharya, please take back your curse. But Sukracharya was not, he was not willing to take back this curse. But he said, he showed some kind of a lenience. He said if he could exchange his old age with the youth of one of his sons, he said. If any of the sons, tell you that, okay, I will give you my age, and then he can take your old age and then he can give his youth to you. Now, one recourse for this Shapa, he is there. He has to take the youthfulness of one of his children or any of the children, and then he give his old. Now Yayati approached his sons. A lot of sons were there, born to many of his wives, So Yayati approached his sons, and almost all refused. They said, no, we can't give our youth, and then we can't take your old age. We can't exchange that. But there was one youngest son called Kuru. He was the youngest son, Kuru. He was quite, he was very much attached to his father, and he had a lot of respect for his father. This son Kuru agreed to take on his father's old age. He said, I will take your old age and then I will give my youth to you. So Yayati was grateful for Kuru's sacrifice. Yayati enjoyed his restored youth for many more years. After exchange, he indulged in pleasures like, mortal pleasures and fulfilling his royal duties. Now, after some years, Yayati realized that it is futile to pursue these worldly desires and be with the worldly desires. He understands the transient nature of life and the importance of spiritual fulfillment. He understands. And now he realized, after realization, he returned the youth to Kuru. He returned back. Whatever you are given, take it back. And he accepted his old age and renounced the kingdom throne. He gives it to one of his sons, and then he went to the forest. Yayati, Vanaprastha like this, he goes on to Yayati, then retreated to the forest to live the life of a hermit, the life of a sage, and he seeks peace and enlightenment through meditation and penance. Vanaprastha he goes to the sannyasashrama. He doesn't go to sannyasashrama because he goes to do penance and things like that. Now, this is the story of Yayati, where there is an exchange of youthfulness to old age and old age to youthfulness. And it reminds of the consequences of the desires, the physical, bodily, material desires, and the importance of duty and renunciation. At the end, the renunciation is important. Of course, his legacy lives on through his sons, particularly Puru, because he was the lineage whose lineage eventually led to the birth of the Pandavas. Pandavas, the heroes of the Mahabharata. This is how the story of Yayati unfolds and then leads to the Mahabharata story. This is prior to the Mahabharata incidences, the story of Yayati. Yes, with this story, we will conclude this video. I hope you have enjoyed this story. Please like, share, and then subscribe to my channel. Thank you.